Hey guys, well, it's Monday, and I thought I'd bang out a quick little video for you guys. A lot of times people come and they're relocating and they want to be down in the South Beach neighborhood of the city or where the newer construction condos are. But there's also a sub-district called Mission Bay. Now, Mission Bay 10 years ago was nothing. It was just a parking lot. But it actually has really nice weather patterns. It's right on the bay. It lives right next to or just south of AT&T Ballpark. So I wanted to give you guys just sort of an overview of this sub-district and tell you that some of the exciting things that are going on in there. Originally we had the AT&T Ballpark come in. Now we're getting the San Francisco Warriors. So AT&T Ballpark is here. The Warriors is going to be right around here. The new UCSF, Benioff Children's Hospital, a lot of biotech companies, they're all here. And also the San Francisco put in the 3rd Street Light Rail Muni, I don't know, 4 years ago or so. So it's really incorporating that side of the city, and it's growing like a weed, guys. I mean, you think about the development that's going on in South Beach. Well, the development down in Mission Bay, to me, is just, it's phenomenal. I mean, it just keeps on growing, and I think, it's going to be pretty awesome, especially when the Warriors get in there. That area is just going to get better and better and more vibrant because, part of it is also, part of the master plan for the city, but also you have, some of the local companies, just like, say, Anchor's team, right? They're going to be creating a tasting room and some of the piers that are just right off. So these piers that are right now, currently they're is basically parking for the AT&T Ballpark. This is just going to get better and better and better. When you pull up some of the maps, you got a lot of jobs, a lot of transportation options. Here's the pier where Anchor Steam or Anchor Brewery is going to go. I believe it's supposed to be very similar to a sort of the ferry building, but just a little bit further south. So the thing is about these areas, they grow up so fast, and then once you have maximum density with the residential units, you're going to see more and more retail going into the area. Right now, the amenities are kind of light, but I think that's just going to get better and better as you go along. So I wanted to point you out, there's a handful of buildings that are in the area, and really when you're looking at the Mission Bay Subdistrict map, it actually goes north of McCovey Cove. So you have AT&T Ballpark, you have McCovey Cove. Let me widen that out a little bit. But it also goes up a little bit further up. Now, within the San Francisco border real estate map, I don't think it goes all the way up to the 80, but very close. So you have buildings along King Street, like the Beacon, 170 off of 3rd. You have the Palms. Those are all really good buildings, larger buildings. You have a couple boutique buildings in there as well. I personally like the buildings right off of Berry Street. Berry Street is a few blocks that goes straight into AT&T Ballpark, but there's a number of buildings right in here that I think are really, really nice. They might not be the flashy new diamond type of building, not the curtain wall construction, not all of them, but they really have a lot to offer, especially because you're right on the cove. And then you have buildings that are coming in. So you have a lot of commercial coming in, which means a lot of jobs, but you also have a lot of growth. And part of that growth is going to be fueled by, the development of, the core is really the UCSF Medical Center. And then all the offshoot businesses, biotech companies off of that. And then you also have tech companies right up here on Townsend Street. So you're kind of mirrored. You've got medical biotech, and then you have tech companies. From an investment point of view, hey, look for jobs and transportation options, guys. I mean, that's where your core density is going to be. And if you buy a condo today and you get relocated, you move in the city, well, there's a great opportunity for you to be able to rent out the unit, and make your decision further down the road if you want to sell it or not. The nice thing is new construction is not going to be subject to rent control or eviction control. So I think it's one of these things. It's like, you get into the area, and there's some really good buildings down here. You've got new construction right now, One Mission Bay. You have the Artera, which has already been built out. which is further down towards the end of McCovey Cove. And then you have buildings like the first building, which was Radiance, which I think is a really nice building. It's a little bit smaller, and it's right next to the waterfront. And then right next to that, you also have Madrone. So I'm going to go through some of the pictures real quick, just so you guys can get a flavor for it. I'm down here all the time, so there's units that, new on the market, but some of these units have been on the market for a while too. And I think that also goes for the units down, actually, a lot of the units in Mission Bay as well as South Beach, some of these sellers haven't reacted to the market quick enough. So you gotta, there's some deals that you can negotiate out for sure. So anyway, I'm gonna cut to the chase. I'm just gonna go straight to one of these buildings that I actually really, really love. This is a small building. I believe there's only 22 residential units. It's a mixed-use building, and look at the location of this. You are at 207 King Street, so you're sandwiched between, this building's actually, you enter on King Street, but you're actually on 3rd, and we're facing the AT&T ballpark. One of the things I love about this building is, hey, it's a small boutique building, guys. It's not some huge monstrosity, but it's like one in a million locations. I mean, look at the location. You're right across the street from the ballpark. I have a client that's in that building, and just, there's the architecture's cool. And it's just, I mean, it's just an oddball. I mean, look at the views. I mean, you're right there at the AT&T, but you also get a lot of sun in the units. You also have extremely high ceiling heights. And it's just one of these things. It's kind of like a New York loft in some regards. I just thought it was really, very slick. I mean, look at that room. I mean, there's a lot of sex appeal in that as it is. These are sort of one-off type of units. They're not, units don't really come up in this building often, and it's kind of unusual that there's 2 that are currently on the market. Let's go back to the first one. The one downside on this one building is there's parking. Some are in the building, but the other part is, underneath the beacon, which is sort of on the other side of King Street, there's a large parking lot. So there's a preferred lease that comes with it. So parking may not be within the building for some of the units that are coming up in this building. Just so you know, that's probably the biggest inconvenience. But on the flip side, you got freeway access, you've got muni transportation, you got jobs. So it really just comes down to, is this, this is a really cool building. And if there's units available and you're looking down in the South Beach, even the Mission Bay area, it's definitely worth a look. If I recall, it does not have a gym, a lot of those other special features, but just overall, it's really cool. Cool. I just really like it. I think it's a really nice building. 435. Trying to base it. Sorry, guys. I think I swallowed a fly on that one. This is the Madrone. Now, the Madrone is not that old. I believe at this point, guys, probably 7 years old. Second larger construction project down there. Same developer as Arden as well as Radiance. They have a very good building record. Both as designer or the architect, and I think overall it's just, there's some really spectacular units in this building. I think part of that is you got to know what's going to go on with these lots over here. So right now you have these Bay Bridge views. You're going to lose those Bay Bridge views from this unit. This is a second floor unit. You're going to lose that because this lot on the other side, that's going to be developed at one point. So, those are the considerations that you're going to have down in Mission Bay as well as down in South Beach. I mean, you just got to know what's coming up around you, and that's bottom line. But overall, Madrone, I think, is a great building. Let's go to Radiance. Here's a Radiance unit. So Radiance is really on the same block as Madrone, a little closer to the waterfront, a little older of a building, more of a boutique building. I would say, it's just overall a smaller footprint. But it's still a really good building, and it's right close to the waterfront. There's a lot going for it. This building, I think, is really, really good option. And when you look at it, look, you know, you're looking at $925,000 for a one bedroom, but you're right on the waterfront, guys. You know, so the issue really comes down to, you know, for this building, you know, you don't have a pool like you do at Madrone. You know, you do still, I believe, they have a gym, but it's not, you know, it's not quite as spectacular and full service. But a lot of people just don't need that, realistically speaking. So, you know, smaller gym, and there's a club room. It's good overall building. So that's one of the buildings that you should take a look at. Another building which, you know, has been kind of a dog for a long time, and part of that is because I think there was an arbitration that went on in the building for a long time. I'm talking about the Beacon, and the Beacon is over at 250, 260 King Street, right? And the building was built in 2003, and you know, the problem is they put the wrong film on in the southern exposure, and there's no air conditioning, so some of the southern exposure units got really warm. But I believe the arbitration was resolved maybe like 18 months ago, something like that. So it's all sort of taken care of, it's all solved. But, you know, it's always had this reputation as, it's kind of, you know, it's not quite as good. But the reality is also, it's like, you get a better price point, you know, bottom line. 2 bedroom, 2 bath, you're in at $1,150,000. Are you kidding me? I mean, seriously. You know, so there are certain things that are really a benefit to it. You know, there's a low-rise portion of the complex, which is both addresses, but also you have these high-rise portions. And you know, for me, I'm always looking for views, guys. You know, if you could guarantee a view, buy into a view. Obviously, it just depends on if you can qualify. So that, but this building, once again, gives you the location, but it's probably not the best building. But at the same time, hey, the best buildings are going to cost you $400,000, $500,000 more. So, you know, the price point on this building is really good. It also has a lap pool. You have a gym over here on the other side. On the other 260 King, you have the dog walk, and you also have a club room. So, you know, there's a lot of amenities. It's still a really good building. Parking is downstairs. So it comes down to a price point. And I think that's a good option depending on where you are on your price. And as I mentioned, here's one at 300 Berry. You know, 300 Berry is the Artera. It's one of the first LEED certified buildings out there. And it's a cool building. It's kind of young and hip, but it really does have this nice location. I like the buildings off of Berry. You can see that, look at the adjacent building. It's not, you know, I think the Artera is a nicer building than some of the other ones on Berry, just because the construction quality, the construction type is a little older. It's not that curtain wall construction's posts and beams. You've got concrete pillars going through. But, you know, the location, it's nice, it's quiet, you're close to a lot of things, you got conveniences. From a rental point of view, it's a no-brainer. I mean, you know, think about the exit strategy on something like this. It's, you know, rent it out. As long as you have enough equity and you could cash flow it, great. You know, this is a type of property that I've had people get in because they wanted the cheapest 2 bedroom, 2 bath, and this is one of the buildings. But I like the Artera very much. It's sort of young, hip. It's just one of these, I like it. So you should take a look at it. Some of the other buildings are also, I mean, for sure, especially the waterfront on the other side of Berry, or on the other side of Berry. It's really pretty darn killer. 250 King again. Okay, so we have the Beacon. So you can see it's just sort of ordinary, you know. But a 1 bedroom for these prices, and I guarantee you can find a deal, you know, especially in this marketplace where, you know, we want to be able to, you know, force the seller's hand if you're a buyer, and seriously, sellers, guys, if you're on the marketplace, you know, price your property accordingly, you know, instead of overpricing it and hoping somebody comes. You know, let's price it to sell and force the buyers to, you know, make the bid worth what the value of the properties is, right? I mean, bottom line. Anyway, so I just wanted to leave you with this. You know, Mission Bay really is a great alternative. You know, you might not have necessarily the amount of conveniences you might have over at Infinity. You know, clearly you're a little bit further away from the financial district, but I guarantee you it's a different mentality over in Mission Bay. The tempo is a lot less, and overall I think it's a great place to check out. If you're looking for new construction, you should definitely check it out, guys. So Anyway, I hope this has been helpful. Anyway, take care, guys. I appreciate the time. I hope this was a good one for you, and keep an eyeball out for more of these. As you know, I cover all the city. I know all the city, guys. So if you need help, just give me a shout. Thanks so much.